For today's video, we're going to be covering all things feet. We're going to go through 2 functional tests to see where you lie in the normative values. We're going to go through the anatomy and the biomechanics, so how your foot and ankle influence your knee and hip joint. We're going to go through strength exercises. And because I rolled my ankle last night at basketball, we're also going to go through some rehab progressions and what to expect during a foot and ankle rehab. The first functional test we're going to cover is a strength test of your Achilles tendon, your gastrocnemius, and your soleus. We'll go through the anatomy in a second. But basically is how many heel raises you can do off of a step. For this test, you're going to stand with the balls of your feet at the end of the edge of the step. You're going to go all the way up as high as you can and then all the way down. This isn't a balance exercise, so you can hold on. Now, I'm already at 3 reps here. And what I'm looking for is to get at least 10 repetitions if I'm someone that doesn't do any running-based activities. If I do some running-based activities, like doing some, like up to 5 kilometers, I want to be up to being able to do 15 repetitions. And if someone does like long distance, like marathons, ultras, lots of hiking, you should be able to do 20 to 25 reps. Now the key is that when you're doing it, you should come all the way down below the height of the step and then up as high as you can. So that's the first strength test of your foot and ankle. Next, we're going to do a knee-to-wall mobility test. This tests the bend in your ankle, or otherwise known as your dorsiflexion. What you should be able to do is get 10 centimeters from the wall, keeping your heel flat and still being able to touch the knee to the wall. If you're under 10 centimeters and you can't quite touch your heel to the wall, then you have a stiff ankle joint. If you're beyond 10 centimeters, like you're at the 12 to 15 range, then you have a really mobile joint. So this is a good gauge to see how stiff your ankles is. So find a flat spot on the wall, make sure you include if there's a baseboard, and just see how far back from the wall, keeping your heel flat, can you touch your knee to the wall without it lifting up? And then measure that distance. That'll give you a good gauge of stiffness in your ankle and limited dorsiflexion. We're going to briefly cover some of the important anatomy of the foot and ankle. So a lot of the muscles of your lower calf, their tendons come down into the foot and they provide the arch support of your foot and give your foot the stability and the strength. Additionally, we have 4 layers of muscles on the bottom of our foot. So that means on the bottom of your foot, there's all these muscles that originate and end just at the base, which bend our toes and also create that arch stability. Now, the important muscles I want to talk about are your gastrocs, which are your bulky muscles at the top of your calf, your soleus at the bottom of your calf. Those 2 make up your Achilles tendon, which attaches at the heel, and they cause the gas pedal motion. This is really important for performance and protecting your Achilles tendon to have these guys long and strong. Now, if you were to take away the gastroc and take away the soleus, you would have some deep muscles right against the shin bone underneath them, which cause your foot to plant and rotate inwards. This is called your tibialis posterior. This is a key muscle in providing arch support of the foot. We're going to come back to that one in our biomechanics. On the front of the foot, we really want to have good strength of our tibialis anterior. This muscle here dorsiflex or bends the foot upwards. That muscle bulk is what counteracts how strong calves are and provide lots of knee stability when landing from jumping or running, hiking, or walking. So this is also a really important muscle for us to look at. Again, it attaches to the top of our foot, which helps pull the arch up. So those are some of the key muscles in the back of our leg and their tendons that wrap down into our foot. We also have some side muscles here, the fibularis longus and brevis. Those guys evert our foot and bring our foot out to the side. Another key player in providing arch support. The whole point of the anatomy is to understand that there are a lot of muscles and tendons in the lower leg and in the foot that provide arch support and stability. So why is that important? Because it is what aligns your knee from the bottom. So think of your knee as a hinge joint. So all it does is straighten and bend. Oversimplified, but good enough for us. The hip orientates the femur from the top, and then the foot and ankle orientates the tibia, the shin bone, from the bottom. So by having a strong arch, it allows you to orientate your tibia into the proper position. So when you're on one leg and you're coming down into squats, your foot doesn't collapse in on itself, causing the knee to bend. So having a strong, stable foot is really important for any weight-bearing activities, such as single leg squats, lunges, and body weight squats, because it helps keep the knee and the hip in a nice vertical alignment. So being able to activate the arch and raise it is really important for your biomechanics and your function. And we're going to go through the exercises on how to do that now. We're going to start with our mobility exercise to warm up our knee joint. The first one is to improve the dorsiflexion. So by having your hands on the wall here, you're going to push your knee towards the wall, going to the point of stiffness and backing off, keeping your heel flat as you can, going to where it feels tight and backing off, where it feels tight and backing off. If you feel it across the front, that's tightness in the joint. If you feel it in the back, that's tightness in the muscle and tendon. You're going to want to do 1 to 2 sets of 20 repetitions of this on each side. This will improve your dorsiflexion and your bend, which will then help you squat deeper and have more mobility through your foot, ankle, and your knee. Now we're going to go through some progressions, regressions for the single leg heel raises. If you're someone who found yourself not strong enough to do 10 heel raises on one leg, what you can do is you can start with 2 leg heel raises off of a step and build your repetitions up to 15 or 20 reps. Additionally, you can hold on to some weight while you do that to add load. Now, as soon as you can, you want to get to single leg heel raises. So once you're at single leg heel raises, you want to work up to being able to do 3 sets of 15 reps, up and nice and controlled. Once you can get to 3 sets of 15, again, you're going to add some weight. So this kind of helps continue to progress the muscle strength and the adaptation to build the actual muscle size. If you're still trying to get more reps in your single leg heel raises and struggling, I like to do the rule of going up on 2 and then down on 1. So this is an eccentric exercise, really important for Achilles tendon rehab with Achilles tendinopathy. But you can do it to help progress single leg strength. So going up on 2, down on 1, up on 2, down on 1. So this will really give you benefit to get more single leg strength. Very important in runners because it gets you long and strong to the Achilles tendon. Next, we're going to train our tibialis anterior by having our back against the wall, and by raising our foot and toes up, we're slightly sliding ourselves up the wall. To make this exercise easier, you step closer. To make it harder, you're going to step further away. This is really important, like I said, because this is good for runners and any athletes with force or impact, such as jumping, like in basketball and volleyball, or long distance repeated over time. Having good strength of these helps to counterbalance with your gastrocs and soleus to prevent things like shin splints. You want to build up to 2 sets of 20 repetitions, starting from anywhere of 2 sets of 5 to 10 reps. Very simply, but one of the best ways to train those 4 layers of foot muscles is balance practice. So standing on unbalanced surfaces like a foam cushion, a Bosu ball, rolled up towels, pillows from home, a mattress, whatever it may be, but by standing on something unstable causes all those little muscles to work really hard to keep your balance. This is critical, and a lot of people avoid this, but it's a big part of rehab as well, to build that proprioception and build the endurance of those muscles to work to keep your balance. That helps you keep your arch subconsciously when you're distracted, like talking here, or looking around thinking of things. So that way your foot is always in a good position. Any athlete should be able to balance for 45 seconds per side. Lastly, I just want to talk about how important it is to do leg exercises with thinking about your foot and arch. When you're doing squats, not letting your arches collapse inwards and your knees coming in, think about lifting your arch. And don't just lift your arch by like rotating your leg all the way out to the side, forget it. Think like you're pulling the ground together with your feet. So I'm actually pulling my feet in to squeeze the arch up to provide that stability. So whenever you're doing squats or you're doing lunges, always think about having that arch engaged and feeling those muscles. Another good cue is thinking like your big toe is pushing down and sliding back on the floor. That helps to pull the arch. You really should feel like a little bit of cramping in the arch there because that's telling you that those muscles are engaged. So when you're doing these exercises, really try and think about having good arch support by being engaged, and that will help your hip, knee, and everything else. So we talked a lot about all things feet in today's video. We went over the important anatomy, 2 functional tests to see if you have stiff ankles or where your strength is overall, how important it is to keep your arches engaged when you're doing your squats, your lunges, and your activities, and some different exercises. Mobility exercises like the needle wall you can do daily if you'd like. The strengthening exercises that I demonstrated can be 2 to 3 times per week, and it's really just bringing that awareness for all your activities to kind of keep your arches engaged. If you have any questions, please comment below. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and leave a comment below of something that you'd be interested to see next. Tune in next time.